Welcome along, we're here for round 11, come to the end of this Formula Aero Championship. Here in the streets of Monaco, full qualifying. We're here for round 11, come to the end. That was very ideal. We're here for qualifying, it's a full qualifying here for this race. As Monaco, we believe the race might be chaotic, but you never know. Qualifying is where it's at in Monaco, and already a chaos about to begin out on track. I'm here with Gaffer. We're going to get ready to enjoy a wonderful 45 minutes of qualifying.
Oh, this is going to be brilliant, and I did hear something that may not be music to everyone's ears, as I think an Aston Martin's at a smack in the wall coming out there, but according to John's boy in the chat, we have a wet race ahead of us after qualifying, so that could be very interesting indeed.
Gaffo, if you say wet race and Monaco, it means we are going to have a fabulous race once we've enjoyed the next 10 minutes of this beautiful opportunity.
Well, I suppose we can go through the driver's standings here and see what the man who's currently already in first has to do today in order to take home a championship a round early.
Yeah, and I apologise shortly for the people watching already. Just a few minor technical bugs that have very quickly been resolved. So let's take a very quick peek at this championship then. Quietboy, obviously the leader for who knows how long in this championship thus far. 3 wins on the table. And then all but 2 other races on the podium. 8 podiums total. As I think we've just lost Gaffo. To the session at least.
Yep. Luckily just to the session. I don't know what's going on there. So if you could quickly try and invite me back in, that'd be brilliant.
Luckily not to everything else. We've got a few drivers already going 4 laps here. And our first one on track is going to be Ollie 1G. 19.8 first sector. Respectable, but there is going to be much quicker times through that first sector, through the hotel hairpin, and then through Mirabeau Bass. He is hooking together what doesn't look like the most comfortable lap in the world, but it's certainly going to be good enough for a benchmark, as we already have cars practically stopped in this final chicane. Through the Nouvelle chicane, and that is the first lap of the weekend that has been invalidated. Is that me just behind him? Will be the first lap on the board. It's 54-0 by the time we reach the end of this middle sector, and he is committed already, right up against that wall. As we come in through the final couple of corners, Raskas and Anthony Nodes, and he's going to come together to put what is going to be a semi-reasonable time down on the board. His lap, Quietboy just behind him, instantly down to the 111s. As I think we've got a Mercedes stopped here in the swimming pool. I think he's lost it. He's practically having to park his car, and that's not what anyone needed. Struggles for everyone around this track. Next cross the line is going to be Nathan YU. Quick name change, but he's managed to keep it valid. Only a 12.9, but maybe a slight bit of impeding there. Next cross the line has a hotshot Hippo. 6.
I think everyone's just trying to get out of the way here at the moment. I think Shane is completely parked at the exit of the swimming pool into Razkas. He's literally just letting people by, almost yielding just at the moment.
Yeah,
that seems to be the only thing at the moment.
Yeah, some big pain as a few more times come on board. Phase Monkey into 7th. We've got Pickle Alex and ST slotting into 2nd and 3rd respectively with good laps, followed by Metal. But as Real Gomez has ended up slightly in the wall through the hairpin. Does he have damage? He does, and I think that's going to be a wasted set of tyres for him. If Richie has the tyres left, he might go for a second effort here after a small mistake as Hyper.
He's done a Rosberg.
He's pulled a Rosberg. And I think I see why. Shano on his lap at the moment, struggling a little bit.
Has to do a bit of a 3-point turn here. I'm watching him. Very good. That would pass his driving test if he'd done that.
Absolutely.
Check his mirrors and out.
Nailing a 3-point turn. That is what we love seeing. here in Formula
Rudy's
Aero.
our only one on a lap, unless Shano's still on one.
Yeah, and Rudy, unless I've seen this wrong, did a purple Sector 1.
He actually looked fairly clean there through those few times. Pickle Alex, right, well, there we go.
Lobby
That
reset.
penalty means that we will be resetting the lobby.
We all love the lobby resets as someone just magically teleports on my screen. Some poor traction for Shano out that final corner is not going to help him. Only to 10th as Hotshot Hippo starts his next
55
lap.
flat. Rudy is actually setting a really tidy lap here at the moment.
Yeah, I think my game's having a slight issue because I know a 55 isn't the fastest in that middle sector. It's been a good
my
little
game's having
lap
a slight
from him.
issue as well, because it's telling me Rudy doesn't even have a wing here at the moment, so...
I can
And
confirm.
I don't mean as in he's...
I can confirm the presence of a wing as Richie has pulled out of the way, and I think
Yeah.
the few drivers still out on laps.
And I don't mean as well have a wing as in like is missing, like as in has a as in, like, you know, when the cars are in the pits and they literally take the nose completely off it. That is what Rudy is driving at the moment. It's not that his wing is broken. They've just not put it on for me. So it's an interesting.
Sorry to cut in here,
Interesting
Gaffer.
setup.
Hotshot Hippo's in the wall at the swimming pool. I think we can get a quick look at that if we take a peek at Richie on board. Yeah, parked backwards into the wall as Pickle Alex comes to the end of his lap. He finds
He
a
might
couple
hit the inside
hundreds.
wall. I think that's where he's gone. It looked like his front left was gone there, so that's unfortunate. He's just turned in too early, and he had a decent enough lap time on the board. Might have been able to get him into that Q3. We'll have to wait and see if others are able to improve. My prediction, anyway, is that projected knockout will probably be in and around where Hotshot Hippo is. Obviously, the likes of Ollie G, Rudy, drivers who won't be as quick. I think it'll definitely be a lot more interesting. Q2 will be to see. Obviously, I don't see the likes of the top 5 having to go out again. I think they're definitely safe for Q1 at least. But,
I'd call it a bit close, maybe for the likes of Nathan and Arbank. Both
I don't
on
think
that
so. For
12-9.
Q1, I'm not too sure. Like, only 3 drivers are getting knocked out. Obviously, you'll see Hyper improve. Hotshot Hippo is probably going to be gone. Rudy hasn't really impressed all that well in qualifying pace this season, so you're looking at 2 drivers who are already out. So it's just pretty much whoever's remaining now of that.
Yeah, and as we watch onboard John's boy finishing a lap, he comes out into the 11.5s there. Nice and tidy lap from him after a few minor issues for himself. Hyper, though, the man under pressure here, still needs to get a time on the board. A 38.6.
I'm wondering if he's using new tyres as well. Be interesting as Ollie G crossed the line there to go 14th with a 15.4. So himself, Real Gomez and Richie all have a bit of work to do. As Real Gomez is on a lap with a 19.2 in the first sector, which is reasonable enough, thinking around the same as MDNX, Sil and FaZe Monkey in around that region.
Yeah,
See
as
what
I
he
just
has in the middle
watched.
sector.
I just watched an Alpine, I think Billy was doing a fine example of the 3-point turn. You know, to come and love at Monaco. And he's coming through on what's looked like a tidy effort so far. If he can get confidence here, he might find a really good lap in it. I think we might be looking next across the line, though. His teammate Quietboy, that was nearly into the wall on both sides through Anthony Nodes, and that's a 4/10 improvement up into the 110s. The first driver through that little barrier there. It's a yellow flag.
Real Gomez only just gone behind Shano there in P13. Just dropped Ollie into the drop zone. So Richie, last driver now to get a lap on the board, and Hyper, the last one after that, will to get a competitive lap on the board. But so far, I'm interested the fact that Quietboy has gone back out. He didn't see an 11 flat as completely safe, at least for Q1. So it'd be interesting to see if he's went back out on those older tyres or if these are
They're
a fresh
brand
pair
new.
of softs. Yeah, they are. I think that's interesting. I don't know how many pairs he has, but think the likes of Orbang has the right idea. He's stayed on the same set for this whole session, and I think he's on a lap here at the moment. We'll see. Like once you get into the 11s, I think you're going to be okay, at least for Q1. He's abandoned that one though.
At most, they will have,
Shano,
I believe, 6 steps. 6 sets of soft tyres at most in this session. Not 6, 5. They can take 4 in regardless, and they'll get 1 extra if they make it to Q3.
Really 4/10 up here at the moment. Still driving without a nose cone for me.
I can tell you he definitely owns a nose cone.
And he's coming to the line now. It's a good improvement, but he's still a good bit off the pace.
Really not safe for Rudy, as Ollie 1G not on a lap that's going to spark anyone right now. Still only 600ths up. And by the end of the lap, he's lost all of that improvement. But the driver that needs to be slightly worried right now, the two that need to be worried, as Richie comes to the end of his lap. That Richie and Hyper.
Okay here. A little bit of a slide through Anthony knows, but I think he's going to be alright. He goes 5th fastest. Good lap from Richie there.
Richie putting down the time that he needed. Hyper has found a second in that first sector, 19 flat. He just needs to get in and abouts with ST and Richie here to be completely safe. But I think we are, as you said, looking at the likes of Rudy, Ollie G, and then it's to be a little bit of a battle for who ends up in that P16 spot. But actually, Hotshot Hippo is 16th already. So,
yeah, so he is out.
Only 2 drivers at risk. I think I saw it pop up purple for Hyper's middle sector.
I think it's going to be Rudy and Ollie, because Hyper, he's really pushing that car when he doesn't really need to. He's gone to 9th fastest. So I think it's not necessarily down to Real Gomez and MDN XL to improve. I think it's down to try and avoid being overtaken. It's up to Rudy and Ollie to put in a really good lap in here at the end. In order to get through Q1. That's how it's going to be looking, I'd say.
I'd say Phase Monkey probably the first unsafe driver now. Obviously 2 only to go out now with Hotshot Hippo out. John's boy with the ego retirement already. Yeah. That 11.5 is going to be more than plenty what they need, and I don't see much need.
I'm sure he retired in the pits, did he? Because then he'll be okay for Q2.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he just parked it in the pits. He wants to see how everyone else is going. Metal medals up on this lap. Where does this put him? Up to P4, finding a lot of time in this track.
Good lap, and only 1,000 off Pickle Alex as well. So that's essentially P3 there. So that's a really good lap from Metal Medal.
Likes of Hyper and Is That Me are going to be coming into the pits, I think, at the end of this lap. They should feel relatively safe here. Is That Me, I think, has the
going again. I think he wants to burn these tyres to the most. I think he'd want to be careful. He doesn't want to hit the wall and have his qualifying session come to an end early.
Yeah, but it's all about Monaco getting your confidence.
Yeah, I think that is it. Just getting a bit of practice in, hoping that he can really put a lap together by the time Q3 comes around.
Yeah, that's the one issue with Monaco. If you don't get your eye in, that's where you're losing the time. I think that's where I saw Real Gomez lose time on his lap. He just did not have his eye fully into that track and just really struggled to find that confidence to keep the speed up, especially through to back. You know, took a lot of safety going into the back, and Hyper's out.
Oh, he's out.
He was pushing again.
He's out of qualifying.
Shano with the ego retirement, but he should be very safe. But Hyper, he's hit the wall. And that's the end of his session. Phase Monkey now on a pretty good lap. He's up 4/10 in that first sector. He's going to be looking for a lap to put him up around that Shano area. Shano luckily retired in the pits, which is good for him. Hyper getting his eye in, pushing that bit too hard, as it so easily can be done. Phase Monkey 8/10 up on this lap now. This track is coming to these drivers as this Q1 session pans on. We see him come through the final corner. This is a competitive effort Phase Monkey, the likes of which we've not really seen from him this season. He comes across the line, and it's a 12-8. Now things get a little bit scary. Will Gomez not found time so far on this lap as we ride on board with him to the line. Where does this put him? It's a 2/10 gain, but 2/10 surely not enough.
It could be, it should be enough, I think.
ST out on tyres that he's used before. He is, okay. But taking that risk when you're in such a good position is not what you need at this point in the season. Axel finding a little bit of time on his lap. Where are we looking for next across the line?
Is kind of equaled his time in the middle sector, so I think we're probably going to see an early exit for him, but
yeah, I see a few drivers taking such an early entry into Anthony Nodes, and I think that's just costing lap time. It's a 15-0 for Ollie G.
Improvement for him, but it's not going to be enough. So I think it is just down to Rudy to see if he can get 5/10s. He's starting his lap now, so we're right on board. Probably not best for me to ride on board with him, but we're right on board here as he goes on his final lap here of the session.
That was such liberties.
As possible.
He could have invalidated so easily, but it's that early on in the lap, it was worth the risk. Keeping it nice and loose through these first couple of corners, trying to take no liberties on that exit, and it's an 18-9 from Rudy in that first sector.
Good improvement, yeah. He has a chance here.
This is scary for Will Gomez.
Is what he needs.
Will Gomez is in the pits, Gaffo. This could cause an issue, because Will Gomez is that next one to fall. Hyper's sat there right now, but that's his guaranteed starting position. No matter what, we've got a Red Bull parked off the track. I think that's just Axel staying out the way. But Rudy, on what looks like a very neat and tidy lap so far, coming through this middle sector. And is Will Gomez at risk? Will Gomez might be out here.
Second, and he's 1.3 seconds up.
This is
he's going to go
catastrophe for Williams.
Will Gomez.
It's a catastrophe for Williams, who are struggling already in that constructors battle, and they're about to see two drivers. One driver fall out in the top 10. Rudy with a
1.4 second improvement. He might have a chance of getting into Q3 here later on if he gets a lap like that again.
ST.
We used a lot of tyres for that, but
yeah, ST's backed out of his effort.
Will Gomez is out.
He's in the pits. I don't see why you want to. Is that me? Might be on a lap here.
So it's just Ollie. I'll keep an eye on him just to see what his improvements look like, if they're any use.
Doesn't look good enough, Gaffer.
I don't think it is.
I'm looking at this time right now. Yeah, 2/10 down. He is out of qualifying here.
He is out of qualifying as well. So
Billy Wiz is backed out. Is that me? Is still pushing. He's found 2/10 in that middle sector. He's taking all the risk here to keep his eye in. Little bit careful just through the bounces on the exit of the swimming pool and into the final corner, trying to keep himself plenty of gap to that inside wall as he comes across the line. He finds the bragging rights over his teammate for this qualifying session. And Q1 going the way of Quietboy, and what a margin it has fallen by as well.
The story of Q1 is definitely Rudy. What a lap there at the end too. I don't think anyone expected him to get through. Like, only 3 drivers getting knocked out. I think he'd be the first name you'd put down to get knocked out.
I think Will Gomez made a massive mistake here, Gaffo. I think he underestimated that knockout time, which ended up being in the 12s. Much further up than we expected. I think a few people would be counting their lucky stars that they didn't quite go and stay on a 13. But after this qualifying 1 session, we lose Hyper to him being out of this session. Will Gomez, who didn't go out for a final run. Hotshot Hippo, who crashed out very early on in this session. And Ollie 1G, who just could not find that ultimate pace in the end and was just a bit too conservative in general. But we've got a great little fight though. If you look from P8 down to P12. There's only a couple tenths in that, and it's so easy to win or lose those. So we could see a real scrap for who's going to get into Q3. But I think the winner is already trying to paint himself here.
Yeah, I was just going to say another thing. It's almost like Max Verstappen-esque. He's just set a bit of a statement there, Quietboy, where I know it doesn't really mean anything at this early in qualifying, but to go 9 tenths clear of the rest of the field just psychologically may just throw everyone else off. So it's so far so good for what could be the champion tonight.
Yeah, start of Q2 now. Only 14 drivers able to compete, but this should help a few people with that congestion that we so often see on this track. As Will Gomez has
John's boy has yeah, I told the four that got knocked out that they are, because it will be a lobby restart, they can leave the session and
you know who I'm looking at right now, Gaffer?
and I'll invite them back.
I'm looking at MDN Excel.
Yeah.
He is going out on the medium tyre for this first run.
That is interesting. He's obviously gone with the normal compound. I'm sure everyone else probably would have chose the softer allocation, considering that the race is wet. The extra pair of softs probably would have helped out.
I don't think they knew that was wet beforehand, but I think the thing is with Monaco, if you go softer, you bring a soft, medium, and then a hard through to the race, which you could so easily use all three compounds. I'm pretty sure you could run a double medium to a soft in the race. The tyre wear is such at this track, but the first person in this session to attack will be Is That Me, and he already looks to be attacking on his outlap a little bit. You do need that though here. Those tyres just don't warm up on one lap, and I can already see he's got 7 laps of fuel, and this isn't a short run whatsoever for the Aston Martin driver. As we can already see on this track map, congestion so much less, and it's going to be so much easier. When you take us through this lap with Is That Me, Gaffer?
Yeah, so down on the run into Sandoval, he probably didn't go as brave as his teammate did, which I suppose he is just trying to get the banker on the board as he goes up the hill here at Beau Rivage, in through Massenet and into Casino Square now. It's been clean so far. He's definitely keeping good distance to the inside walls, making sure he doesn't turn in too early, which will probably affect his time, and he'll have to go a lot quicker in the final part of qualifying. But so far it's been tidy enough here from Is That Me as he goes through Portier now and now into the tunnel. Of course, Is That Me, and I was only just saying this earlier on about him, his impact he's had on Aston Martin and the reason he's kept his seat as he clips the inside wall and invalidates. So I should not be praising anyone anymore, because
honestly, Gaffo, he deserves praise.
I've just cursed him.
That.
I've just cursed him there. But yeah, just mentioning before we look at anyone else, his impact he's had on Aston Martin coming into round 6 in Abu Dhabi. Aston Martin were rock bottom as he joined the league. He wasn't at Aston Martin during that race, but they were dead last with only 2 points. And since then, they've scored in every race bar one, and he's got them all the way up to 8th in the standings on 28 points, and jumped ahead of McLaren, who were leading ahead of them by 22 points in Abu Dhabi, and now they're a point ahead of McLaren, who've only scored 1 point since Abu Dhabi.
Yes.
3 points, I should say.
Yeah, Is That Me honestly deserves a little bit of praise for that lap. At least just backing out of it when he knew it was done. Nathan YU up to 3rd, as we've already got laps coming in. Next up's one of the Alpines, who comes up to P4. Great lap from Metal, finding some decent time there. What can FaZe Monkey do, though?
Monkey up next. It's looking like going to be a decent lap ahead of MDN.
Yeah, an 11.9.
Decent lap on the mediums for MDN so far.
Yeah, that's what he needed, especially since he brought that second medium into the weekend. We've got a few more drivers coming across the line, I think.
Orabang goes 3rd fastest with an 11.3 and fastest in the final sector.
That's just the confidence that they needed. Rudy, the player, with a really poor final corner, he's backed out of it. And I think next up... Next up
Rudy.
on the lap is going to be ST, who's just done a purple first sector. But where can he get to? As both Red Bulls pull into the pits, I'm surprised MDN didn't bring a bit more fuel to use that medium for a bit longer. How aggressive is ST being, keeping plenty of margin into the two corners? They are most likely to lose a tyre here outside a casino.
Yeah, plenty of margin to the tyre, but really went for it at wide as chicane. He's done the same here through the swimming pool into Razcast now. Been very tidy, and I think it is definitely between these two, the two championship contenders, going for pole position here.
Yeah, it comes across the line. It was 2 purple sectors. Didn't look like a purple 3, but it's still a 1:10.7 for the V-carb driver. As we see a little bit of congestion in this final part of the lap, as Pickle Alex has had to back out of his effort, and just a few drivers now circulating, getting some tyres back into the window and going for more efforts. As John's boy, he's chosen to leave the pits while we were focusing on all those laps. Was important for him to get out, but he's taking it really slow on this outlap, and he's stopped on track for a second. I appreciate the effort, but I do not see how this is going to warm his tyres very much. Pickle Alex, 39.5, nowhere near representative for him.
Yeah, I think he's going again straight away, and he's 1.9 seconds up already, so I'll keep an eye on that for as long as we can. But I think next will be Is That Me, who this time has got the Nouvelle chicane right, and we can go back to singing his praises as he goes through to back now.
I looked heavily understeer. I think, yeah, he's got some wing damage there. I just saw the car refusing to turn in through to back. But it's good for him to at least get a banker down, even if he's got that little bit of wing damage that'll be affecting him all the way around this lap. Another little wall tap on the exit of Anthony Nodes.
Really got on top of the curb there. It's a decent enough lap for the moment anyway. He'll have to go again and prove he is P10, as Pickle Alex is 26 seconds up. He's looking like he's going to go well into the 111s here.
Yeah, we watch him down the main straight now. To complete his lap, he's up into the 11.1s. Great lap from Pickle Alex, and it's P3 on the board right now for him, which he desperately needed to find some form. John's boy, though, purple middle sector. As it stands, a 52.8, so a little bit down on Pickle Alex, but what can he do through the final corner? I think he was using a bit of none there. He comes across the line, P8 for him, and only one more driver left to completely hook a lap up, and that's Billy Wiz, who we've seen with that pace when we first saw him out in Belgium. He looked decent enough in Melbourne, but what can he find? On the brakes into the Nouvelle chicane, hardly leaving any margin to the walls on this, the least forgiving track on the calendar, and he's looking pretty strong. 53.1 at the end of the middle sector, and that's a big wall tap. Both end plates gone. Lap invalidated.
He's got very lucky there to not lose a tyre and go out of this race.
Yeah,
I think he knows it as well, but he's back in. Luckily it's at the end of the lap and not the start. He's back in. He's a load of time now to maybe get out and go again. As John's boy is out. He's hit the wall, the Nouvelle chicane. He is out of qualifying.
That's... I mean, his time wasn't good enough to go through. I think we are looking maybe into these 11s now.
No, he has crashed. He has crashed. He's hit the wall. He is out, so he is out of qualifying, yeah.
Devastation for John's boy as Quietboy. Our next driver to come to finish a lap, getting so close to the wall, touching that wall on the exit of the swimming pool. He comes to the line now. He finds a little bit of time, but he is safe as anything.
It would have been comedic if Quietboy went onto provisional pole there, because John's boy did only just type in the chat complaining about asking Quietboy where his teammate is gone and that the constructors is wide open now, and John's boy, well, he's just received the other end of the stick there, and he has crashed and is out of qualifying, and it's more than likely going to be P10 at best unless other drivers can improve as well, which won't be picking up none, pretty barely none, but pretty much no points at all for Racing Bulls today, which again is going to leave the constructors wide open.
Yeah, that's the issue with Monaco, though. It's the least forgiving track outside of Macau, probably in the world. And there is no room to just take that little liberty going into any of these corners here. You turn in too early, you're in the wall. And Shano demonstrating perfectly how to make sure you don't end up out of the session by just a small mistake.
I think he is absolutely terrified. I think he's going to wait till his final run to properly really go for it, because he is terrified to go for anything. He's only a few hundreds off MDNXL and getting into the top 10, but it's going to be tricky. And of course you've like the likes of Billy Whiz behind, who's probably going to go even further. So I think the projected knockout time is going to be around, and whatever FaZe Monkey can improve on, I think that's going to be it. I think the top 7 are going to be safely through, but I think in and around an 11-8, 11-7, I think that's what they're going to have to set.
Yeah, and as the laps get faster, the liberties you have to take become even greater, and the risk of you losing everything is one of the worst feelings in the world. As we see, is that me a few tenths up already on his lap, and he needs a time here. He's looked so strong. And as we've sung his praises, you know, he's not quite found that ultimate time around here.
No.
We need to see him now. How he's going to have to commit, I think, to this lap. And it looks very committed through the Nouvelle Chicane.
3 tenths up. He needs nearly about a second improvement.
And I think he's backed out.
I see he's had a bit of trouble there.
Yeah, I see the light flashing. Battery coming back in. I think he's just going to gain as much as he can. And he does have time for that second go. FaZe Monkey, he's coming towards the end of his lap. I couldn't see how much he is by. Is that me pits after that lap? So giving up already. And as FaZe Monkey comes across the line, surely he's up because he's still pushing. It's 3/10 improvement, 11.6. And I think that is just about going to be P10 if Billy Whiz can hook up a lap to end this session.
He's just done enough there.
Next across the line is going to be Arabank. Does he find anything? He can find a couple tenths, a bit more security. Up to an 11.0 is...
I must say, Billy Wiz's lap doesn't look that competitive. I think he's going to be in and around where MDNXL and Shano is, but definitely going to be nervy. And I definitely think the door is wide open for Shano to improve.
It's a 12-2 for Billy Whiz, so safe just for now, but that P9 is exactly where the knockout spot is in this session. A 12-2.
As MDNXL has matched his time in the first sector, he is ready to go now through the Nouvelle Chicane. This is pretty much so far we've seen where it's make or break your lap, and well, he is fully committed through there.
And he's out!
Oh, and he's clipped the exit.
It's so easy to do at Monaco. He's hit the wall on the exit. He's not ghosted. This is going to be insanity. As we see Arabank having to try and skillfully navigate.
Luckily he's out of the way now.
Yeah, our driver at risk right now is Billy Whiz, and I think he's the only one at risk. Shano, with no time found in that first sector. Is there time to go again? There is. Backing out.
I think he is. I think he's going to just rebuild for this one next lap now. And that will be it then.
Yeah, as Billy Whiz having to take some safety.
You'll be cheering Shano on. You want as much points as you can for McLaren and hope that they can get you a choice further in the driver draft when the later on in the season comes around.
Yeah, I need a bit more favour so I can fully secure Shano as my second driver for next season.
That FaZe Monkey, no, he's doing a bit better than Shano.
Shano's just an icon though. You got to see. You don't see my plan here. I've just got to make myself look as good as possible next season. So if Shano's right at the back and his teammates right at the front, who is going to look better in this scenario?
Well, the first driver I think we need to look at before we go to Shano is Rudy, because we've seen what he done last time with his improvements, and he's 4 tenths up in the first sector. Now, we don't know what sector he kind of really had trouble on last time, as he gone quite wide through the hairpin there, but I think, what did he set? He set a 12-3 in Q1.
Set
I think if he can improve that by a little bit.
And the track
He might
has
be able-
evolved.
Yeah.
I think Quietboy has actually fallen a little bit out of favour in this Q2 session. Maybe he's just not pushing the limits as much, knowing that his 10.6 was safe. How much time does Rudy have in this middle sector, though? And doesn't look good enough as it stands. It's in and about where Billy Wiz is,
Yeah.
who is going again. Gotta
Unless
see.
he's really committed through Q3, the Alpine there, Metal does get out, or Billy Wiz gets out of the way. Oh, it's a big slide. I don't think it's going to be enough.
He comes
We'll see.
across
Can
the
he jump
line.
a few places? No.
Dead
Good improvement,
last.
but
And
yeah,
into the wall.
That's fair enough. Well, it's better than being in the way of someone. As I think Shano's qualifying is also coming to an end. So it's just, is that me? We just have to keep an eye on him now.
What can he do? It doesn't look tremendous here, but he has to take every liberty possible.
He's got damage. He's got damage on his left front. I don't think he will.
How much oversteer can he put in that car? He is using that track to the limit. He is going to destroy that Aston Martin if it means he can get into Q3, but he's missing both end plates now.
I think this is only just to get ahead of Shano, because he's 2 tenths up. We can see what he can do.
The desperation.
Now.
Has he got the pace? It's close, but no cigar. Q2 officially finished, and losing some drivers that we maybe didn't expect to after that.
Yeah, well, John's boy will be good, because he is well amongst the kind of midfield battle there, between kind of FaZe Monkey all the way up to Pickle Alex, you could say, all separated by 5 tenths.
Yeah.
So he'll be gutted that he can only start 10th. So it's down to the top 9 now. See what they can do.
Yeah. John's boy hitting the barrier, a bit confused about why he's not going to be able to participate in Q3. So we've got to see. We've got to see what's going on. John's boy is absolutely fuming at the fact he will start P10 for this race. If only he'd got his wish of a shorter qualifying. And now we've got the interesting question. A few drivers on the medium tyre coming into this session.
I think they've definitely all ran out of tyres at the moment, and this is just going to be their first run.
Yes, a few mediums, no used tyres, more surprisingly. Because I would have thought someone might take a gamble on that used tyre as Quietboy out on the mediums. We've got FaZe Monkey take medium for this first run, and Nathan YU, and they've got to be so quick on their outlap, but so careful. All their practice will have been done on that soft compound tyre for taking every liberty out of this track. But as soon as you push that car a little bit too far, which is so easy when you know what you can do on a soft, but the medium just that little bit slower, for all I know, that medium could just be like the god tyre and Quietboy will pull a 108.9 out of it. It could just hold together that little bit better through the duration of a lap. But that pace early on.
Orbank taking his time to come out of the pits. I think I see some movement now down at Ferrari, so that he will be coming out now. But I think he's given himself plenty of time to have plenty of space. I think that's probably the right decision, going out straight away. Obviously, it's good to see only just 9 cars, thanks to John's boy on the track here. No one should be getting in the way of their final runs, and I think Alpine had the right idea as well. They have loads of space to set their own laps.
I think Orbank left
the
it too
tires
late,
however they
Gavin.
want.
This has been left too late by Orbank. He's going to at least be passed by FaZe Monkey and have to give up some of his tyre warm-up for that. But what he really needed to do is come out just a little bit later than those Alpines, who have monstrous amounts of space. I think one of them's just slowed up.
Especially Metal. He's given himself loads of time there. Now, unless FaZe Monkey has a bit of an issue, I think he will be in. He will hope that Orban gets out of the way, as he's in kind of that dirty air. And by Orbang yielding to FaZe Monkey, he's probably going to have to yield to Nathan and Quietboy behind.
Yeah,
He does there.
I think he might pull the old Shano strat out and just cut that Nouvelle chicane, make sure he doesn't have to give up. But he's not, he's taking it properly, so good chance he is going to have to give up time. FaZe Monkey's lap not lighting up any leaderboards right now. 53.5 at the end of the middle sector is looking in or around the 12s at the moment.
Yeah, 52.1 for Quietboy, so he is nearly a second up. I'll keep an eye and see what he can do. I think he's a bit frustrated here with Nathan ahead of him.
Cross the line, FaZe Monkey, 12.6. Next up is Nathan. Here comes 11.1. Quietboy, a 10.4 on the medium tyre. Is just what they needed. Next across the line, his rival ST. Lost a little bit of time through that lap. And only a 10.6, fastest final sector. Next up, Richie, who was actually on a better lap than both of them. Only gets P2.
Well, he's just entered himself into this race, really has, with that lap.
Yeah, Pickle Alex fourth, a 10.9, respectable time. Billy Wiz has invalidated his lap. He's taken all the time in the world with all the track space in the world, as we see.
Metal's done the exact same.
So both Alpines with mistakes on their lap. Orabank taking another lap here to get those medium tyres in as well.
I think he had a mistake in the first sector, though. I think he might have had trouble into Sandoval or something there because he abandoned that lap very, very quickly.
Taking a look at Billy Wiz, it looks like a nice little run through Messonnier and Casino Square, but he's definitely down on times he needs. A 20.3 is nowhere near enough. Metal is taking another lap to get his battery back up. Might have just been a bit late in the lap to invalidate and try and make up the time. Billy Wiz, I don't think is going right now, though. Yeah, tyre 1 tapping the wall in the tunnel, trying to warm up the tyres. As Orabeng completes his lap and will now put together a full lap in Angus. 7 minutes to go for this final qualifying session. What can he do through the first sector? It's at 18.8, and more importantly, a purple sector 1 from Orabeng.
That's a really good first sector.
The sector times coming together on the medium tyre. This second lap of warm-up from Orabeng could be the key, though, to unlocking every bit of performance. Just that little bit of extra push. I think Pickle Alex has gone again. Both the Alpines are going again. Into the Nouvelle chicane comes Orabeng, leaving that little bit of space, but using so much of the inside curb. And through to back now. Middle sector comes to an end. He's lost a lot of time in that middle sector. I think he had a little bit of trouble in Mirabeau, and that's invalid. Yeah, Billy Wiz, 19.4, much better first sector from him on this lap. Whereas Pickle Alex, he's just coming out of the tunnel. He'll be our next to cross the line. And he is invalidated. That's going to be an instant pit lane for him, I would assume at this point. As Orabeng has pulled into the pits after that invalidation. What's Metal in the first sector?
He is 8/10 up on his time at the moment through the first sector.
Yeah.
That's what he can do now in the final sector. Can he put it all together? Not a very competitive time, though. I think it's looking like it's only going to be in and around where FaZe Monkey is. So the Alpines, despite being the only team to get 2 drivers into Q3, I don't think they're going to have a very competitive lap unless Metal can pull something together. Billy Wiz, only P7.
And Metal's invalidated. He did an 18.7 first sector. That was purple.
So that's the thing. There's going to be a lot of pressure on them now. Like, you look at the likes of the top 5. Other than maybe Pickle Alex and Nathan, there's not much pressure on the ones ahead. Quietboy has all the advantage. Not only is he quickest, but he's quickest on a different tyre compound, a slower tyre compound than what it should be. And of course, if he gets pole, that's one hand on the championship, because all he needs is a win today. No matter what ST does, a win is 7 points ahead of second place. He only needs to outscore by 6 to win the championship. Actually, he needs to outscore by 7 because he's 19 points ahead. And ST could technically win it on
back.
Yeah, so
I think
ST does have more podiums as well. So
A big look though, Gaffo, is Nathan Wayu. He did his lap on a medium tyre, like Quietboy did. He's done his lap on a medium tyre. He has a good few more places that he can find, should he be able to hook up the lap. I think Orabang now out on a soft, as I believe that's Quietboy now.
It's going to be ST out first, I think. No, it's Billy Wiz, I think, or Metal Metal. Metal Metal's the first. Is
Quietboy.
It? No, Quietboy. Quietboy's out very early.
Yeah, but FaZe Monkey, more importantly, is already starting his lap. He's silently been making his way around. What can he do to try and bring some time back on that soft compound tough tyre now? Close with Quietboy.
Kind of in the way there, because I think the racing line does kind of go onto the right hand side of the track there. FaZe Monkey wanted to have a look at it.
I don't think that would have lost him too much time though. 19-1 first sector. This could be the lap that he needs. He needs to find that second and a half, really, to even just be up there with Nathan Wayu, which means it's going to be a big push through the Nouvelle Chicane, and he has taken almost every liberty in that corner. Through to back now.
Really close through to back as well. This is a good lap here.
It is a purple
really
lap.
Has to improve a lot, but I think he's really going to cement himself in P6 here.
I mean, he could have just had a terrible final sector on his last effort. It looks clean. It looked tidy. What does he find as he comes across the line to finish his lap? It's an 11.5 flat. He has time to go again as well. He needs to recharge the battery. You can take 2 laps to do that. Orbang in the pits. Orbang just pulling into the pits.
So he's going to try and get out as quick as I think he will. I think he has plenty of time, but he's going to have to rush his warm-up lap.
Yeah, and Quietboy
for around 2:20, 2:15, and then get back out for around 1:30. So he'll get around. He'll really have to push. Metal, I think, is on a lap. Is Quietboy on a lap yet? No, he's taking another lap to recharge.
Well, he's had to back off. He got impeded at the top of the hill by FaZe Monkey. Just stopped in the middle of the track through the top of the hill in Casino Square. And that's really unfortunate for the driver.
We'll keep an eye on Metal. ST coming round Rascas now, about to start what could be his final run. He's given himself enough time where if he makes a mistake he can back off and go again, but he is starting his final run as Nathan has crashed at Mirabeau and he's out.
It for Nathan Wayu. Really unfortunate, as Metal has kept it valid, the most important part for him. It is a completely valid lap. Can he get himself above FaZe Monkey? Could he get himself above Nathan Wayu? This is a good lap.
I think he will.
He's pulled it out of the bag at the last time of asking P4 for Metal. He needed this. Pickle Alex on another cooldown lap. Richie has left himself 1 lap and 1 lap only. But ST, 10th and a half gap he has to Quietboy, already crushed in that first sector. What does ST have in the middle sector now? Through to back. It is committed. It's 2/10 up for him so far. Right up against these barriers. And he's lost a lot of rear end going through the exit of the swimming pool. I think Orabang has crashed into Tabac there, and that's going to impact Billy Wiz's lap. What can ST do though? He's on a great lap right now. It's a 10.487. It's equal times. Quietboy has backed off. So this is now Richie's to take away from anyone. Can you see what time we've got from Billy Wiz at the moment, as Richie not finding time in the first sector? We're going to take a look at Billy Wiz. He's invalid. FaZe Monkey is invalid. Pickle Alex has found a tiniest amount of time in Sector 1. Quietboy retiring in the pit lane. So our real contenders on the track right now are Pickle Alex and Richie. Can Pickle Alex hook it up nicely through the Nouvelle Chicane? He very much can. Coming now towards the back, he needs to be committed and confident, and that was a great run. 2/10 up so far. He was about where ST was on his lap. What does he have in the final sector? It looked a lot cleaner through the exit of the swimming pool. Massive snaps though coming through Raskas, and an even bigger one through Antinos. What can he do? to try and disrupt this qualifying session. It's only a 10.8. He jumps ahead of Metal Metal. Next across the line is Richie. He's found some time. It's not pole. He's lost time in the final sector. And our last man to be on a lap right now is Billy Wiz, who is half a second up in that first sector. Maybe a chance to steal a position or two.
This is where he lost it all in his first run. He lost it all in the final sector. So I think this is probably going to be in and around the same. He's 1 second up. This is where it's all to gain, though. This is where he made the mistakes the last time. Can he put it all together here?
Still a mistake, though, Gaffer. On the exit of the swim pool, had to take way too much curb and slow down a lot more to avoid an invalidation. But I think this is just going to be solidifying his P8 here. Not quite enough from Billy Wiz there. But the championship rivals could not have made this any closer. Identical times from Quietboy and ST. Then Richie coming in P3 in that Red Bull. P4 for Pickle Alex. 5th for Mental Medal. Nathan YU couldn't find a valid lap on the softs and crashed out to be 6th. FaZe Monkey 7th with a 12.7 with an 11.5. Billy Wiz 8th with that 12.7. And Orabang, who crashed early on in the session, a 21.8, all he is able to do. We'll be back with yours shortly for the race, as this might be a little bit of a spicy one. Alright, welcome back. We're here for the race here in Monaco. Rumours of it being a little bit wet towards the end of this one. As we have a wait for everyone to be ready on the grid. Quietboy and ST with identical times in qualifying. Got Richie and Pickle Alex on that second row who will be looking to try and jump them. And then the rest of these drivers are going to be battling it out really for survival. Those in qualifying are going to have no confidence if they crashed out. Because they know that in this half-hour race, anything could go wrong for any other driver, and it doesn't want to be that it goes wrong for them.
I think they may underestimate, how long this race is. It's not quite at 25%. It's still 27 laps of a minute long track, so
And
we're ready to go.
Gaffo. It's going to be 5 lights here in Monaco, and it's lights out. Not quite, it's lights out now, and away we go. Quietboy, good start. ST with a terrible start. Looks like Richie's already alongside him, in towards turn 1. Bit ghosting in the background. We've already got yellow flags towards the back, and Richie has made the jump up to P2 ahead of ST. Pickle Alex all over the back of Quietboy, as I'm starting to have about the same issues with viewing as I have previously. We're looking at the end of Sector 1. It's definitely Quietboy from Richie, from ST, from Pickle, Metal Metals, Nathan YU, Baze Monkey, John's Boy, who's
there's a crash. John's Boy and Billy Wiz crashes into Mirabeau, and there's already penalties being handed out here. Virtual safety car is out. Everyone is colliding with everyone and picking up 10-second penalties. That's not a good start, but it's a dream start for Quietboy out front.
Dream start for Quietboy, not a dream start for Hyper. No front wing on his car. As it stands, I'm going to try and look for John's Boy here. He's missing half a front wing too. See, do we have anyone else without an intact front wing here? It looks like
John's Boy is missing an end plate as well as Hotshot Hippo.
I know John's Boy is missing a lot more than an end plate. At least for me, he's missing half of his front wing. But Quietboy is going to be the happiest driver on this planet right now. He has a clear track in front of him. He survived that start, and ST hasn't had the start he needed. He needed to be getting past Quietboy, but it's been one of his traits this season. He's just never had that good start as John's Boy, Rudy the player, and I'm sure Hyper and Ollie G are in the pits now. Their first of 2 mandatory stops here this race, and 4 drivers in the pits dropping away, but this could be great for them if there's a safety car very soon. As the BSC has ended and Quietboy, the nice little restart. I think a little bit of a position swap between Shano and Hotshot Hippo in the background. Quietboy away and nicely. He doesn't have to push, he can control everything he wants right now, as it's single file through the hairpin for everyone as it stands right now. And Quietboy, watch on board from the back of him, can just see Richie falling slightly away from him, keeping those liberties to a minimum in that chicane. It's what everyone needs right now, and I think we've got a spinner at the chicane. Hotshot Hippo, 10-second for a corner cut. He has majorly cut that corner as we're seeing a classic Monaco field spread now. Massive gaps forming in these trains, and ST just not been able to get going.
Ooh. Orban clipping the wall on the exit of Rascats. I think he's alright. He still has his wing intact, but lost a bit of time to Shano ahead, or Phase Monkey ahead, I should say.
Yeah, Hotshot Hippo's had to pull into the pits. He's missing his entire front wing. I think that's where all this drama came from. He's going to serve his 10-second in that as well. Rudy the player out. I think he's binned it.
And it's a safety car.
Chicane, and safety car has been deployed, so not very ideal for those drivers who pitted early on. What tyres have we seen for those early stops?
I think it's a good idea for Richie. I think he played a really good move there, getting onto the soft tyre, getting the better start from ST, and here it is a tier. Technically, this is a tier 2 still. This is a tier 2 in Monaco. There's probably going to be a safety car or a VSC very early on. It's a chance for him, definitely himself anyway, to get into the pits. It's a mandatory 2 stop, so he can get into the pits and make his first of the 2 mandatory pit stops now and catch right back up to the field. Whether the rest do the same, You don't know.
I just don't see really how he's going to be able to get away with that. I think if he pits right now, he's getting dropped to P13. And
But how many behind him will pit as well, is the question.
I think they're all on mediums though, Gaffo. I don't see much need for a pit stop at
Well,
Quietboy.
Quietboy is coming in.
Richie in, ST in, Pickle Alex in, Metal Medal in, Nathan YU in, FaZe Monkey in, Orabeng in, who started on soft, Exil in, Shano hesitating a little bit, but he's in the pits just behind his teammate. Billy Wiz, Is That Me coming in, Real Gomez coming in, and then
I think someone predicted that that would happen.
Yeah, it's almost.
Now, one thing I'm quite interested in now. He's already at the back. He's already made one stop, but he's not decided to do it. I thought Hyper might have came in for the hards and gone till the end, cop right back up to the field, and all he has to do is just keep track position, which is very, very easy in Monaco, and keep those hards for 23 laps, which in a 50% race you'd be able to do that. No?
I don't think you'd be able to keep them, but if we have rain later on, as it's speculated, there is a chance that those hards could take him to where they are. But I think a lot of drives ahead on that hard tyre.
I think that is the case. I think ST and Quietboy, I think, are going till the rain now. That's their.
I think
that's their plan.
Gaffo that could give this a shot is Ollie, and he does come into the pits for a third time.
Yeah, and he doesn't have any damage. But he's come in onto his used mediums.
I can't really see why he's done that. In all honesty, I don't.
Well, he was on hards. He was on hards. He first pitted onto hards, and now he's back onto the mediums. He started the race on. He already started last, so it's for him. It's like just he's starting the race again. He's back on those tires that he had at the start. All his tires that are left to use are fresh, and he's back to where he started.
And I think we've got to look. There has been a few losers and winners from this safety car. Hypers came back up a few places, as has John's boy. He's retained his P10 from the start. But the likes of Hyper pits.
I think he's going to do it. I think he's going to do what I was saying that I thought he'd do, since he's already made the stop. He's already down the back, so he really does have nothing to lose. He's going to come in, he's going to get a pair of hards on. I think he's going to try and go to the end and hope that the rain isn't that heavy when it comes down later on. If it comes down, of course, the weather is only approximate, so if it doesn't come out, it doesn't come out.
Yeah,
but I have to say, Shano is a big loser from that safety car. Obviously, with the 10-second penalty he picked up, he had to serve that in the pits and lost a lot of time as well. I think he double stacked with FaZe Monkey, didn't help the cause.
Yeah, Shano double stacking didn't work out for him. He was on. Did he start on the hard though? That's my question. Is that
I can tell you now, Shano started on mediums.
I think honestly for him, his call could have just been to try and stick it out, see what he could do. Doesn't have much to lose, and if he could do it, this is when he needs to take risks. It's Monaco. If he would have come out in the lead, no matter what, after pit stops resolved. So, you know, it was only a couple lap old medium tyres. There might have been a chance for him there. It's a safety car, despite Ollie being a mile off the back of the tail here, is coming in this lap. Quietboy, not exactly taking it slowly on his restart. But we're getting ready to go
Loads
racing.
Of changes of positions.
Hotshot Hippo
People just getting a bit too eager at the back.
Yeah, a little bit of contact being made up and down the grid. We'll definitely be seeing those later. When does Quietboy decide to make the jump? Surely it's as soon as he can straighten up his car, and he has jumped now. Down the main straight, Richie, there or thereabouts on straight line speed, but into turn 1 he goes. He maintains this lead of the race, and it's single file all down the field as Metal Medal and Pickle Alex swap places up Beau Rivage and towards Messonnet. But what a restart. Here is FaZe Monkey and Orabeng are battling, and they are making a little bit of contact, but they're going to be wheel to wheel into Mirabeau here. And Orabeng able to take the place from his rival. Anyone looking at a risky little dive into the hairpin as the Alpine, I think that's Billy Wiz. He's lost a bit of his front wing. on the
He
back.
went into the back of John's boy and he picked up... Or no, did he?
I think it was Is That Me he's hit as everyone's Constantined it
was,
up
yeah.
at
I think he
that
may have
hairpin.
clipped Is That Me. Nathan getting right onto the back of FaZe Monkey here. As I think you'd want to look at Nathan. If you want a bit of entertainment, you'd want to look at Nathan, because he's going to try and make a move from anywhere, because that's just the type of driver he is.
Yeah, I can
He's
see.
kind of the Max Verstappen without the results, and the way that he gets his elbows out when overtaken. So
I can see Metal actually very much on the back right now of ST as well. There's going to be something to keep an eye on as Quietboy. 13.2. Fastest lap of the race so far, and a decent pace being set by the leader. Already pulled a 1.2 second gap after that restart. Billy Wiz picking up a penalty on the inside of turn 1 as Real Gomez gets past Hotshot Hippo into turn 1 as well.
I think I'd love to see in this race, and I hate to say it because I think you're the one who's rooting for Quietboy, but if Quietboy did retire from this race, picked up 0 points, and Richie won the race with ST finishing second, Quietboy would have a 1 point lead going into the final round, which would make things very, very interesting. But of course, I don't think Quietboy wants that at all. I think he'd be happy enough to finish out this remaining 20 laps and take home the championship around the streets of Monaco. I think there's nothing more poetic than that.
He's hit the wall on the exit of the Nouvelle Chicane. Took off that front right corner, and that's him out in the wall. Surprisingly not a safety car for that incident. What a shame for Metal. As Hotshot Hippo,
such a good position.
Hotshot Hippo as well, crashed in the tunnel. As far as I could see, Quietboy still keeping that pace up. Incredibly, 13-0 for Quietboy.
Well, I have to say that retirement has really, really helped ST, because it's got Metal off his back, and ST now able to switch his concentration to his front wing rather than his rear wing, and he is right on the back of Richie.
He's got wing damage.
Down towards Mirabeau.
Richie's picked up a little bit of damage on that front right end plate, and
he was thinking of it.
Yeah, I think right now ST needs to clear Richie, because if he can't clear Richie, then there is no possible way. I think he has to beat Quietboy this race regardless.
Yep.
For this to actually bring
either
something.
That or Quietboy doesn't win the race. I think that's what he has to do. It's Red Bull against Red Bull Junior here, and the Junior is the one who's searching for the championship here in the Racing Bull.
Yeah, Richie is starting to form a bit of what we know from the olden days as a trolley train. Just holding everyone up, and you know what? This is helping one person and one person only, as I think MDNXL has made a mistake, losing a position through to back.
He's in the pits. Richie's in the pits, and ST is now free to go. He's free to race.
Yeah.
And he has now 6 seconds nearly to Quietboy ahead. But Richie couldn't take it any longer.
I think he damaged his car. I think he damaged his car like in the final corner, because half a wing, he was missing an end plate, and he just lost so much time on that lap that, if anything, I think Quietboy kind of enjoyed that little intervention from Richie, because that has given him so much breathing room. And around Monaco, that means you can just back off that pace so heavily.
Yeah, you can just leave an extra kind of few inches to the wall.
Yeah,
as ST, in order to catch up, he pretty much is going to be full push here between now and the next pit stop.
Yes,
to really make most use of these hards.
Arbank's picked up a penalty on the pavement through Mirabeau Bass, which isn't uncommon in this game. You really want to take a lot of curb in Mirabeau. And he's just gone that little bit too far. And it's what you need as ST is really sending it in this final sector right now. His car looking slightly electric, but I'm sure as Orabang and Pickle Alex swap places.
Well, I think you're starting to see it now as well at the top of the race, or at the top of your screen there, that penalties could really come into the equation here. Obviously, Quietboy can back off a bit. He doesn't have to get as close to the track limits as he may have had to with a car kind of gaining on him, but if there is any sort of incident where he may have to exceed and picks up a penalty or does something, like, it's not all just about overtaking around here, especially on the game. Penalties get handed out very, very easily and could well define this race. I think Orabang overtook Pickle Alex there going into the hairpin, and he's up into P3 now, or unless Pickle Alex made an error.
I believe he did make a little mistake into Rascas last lap, and I think one of the things ST might have against him in this race as Hyper picks up a penalty is that Quietboy has probably been the driver this season we've seen get the least penalties out of any driver. Even when he's pushing at race-winning pace, you know, he's been so consistent. He's not been getting those penalties, and it's just been a force to reckon with. He can win races on his pure ability, just not cut the track. I'm sure if we take a look at the end of this race, he'd probably have no corner cuts. Where ST, I think, just with how he's having to push this limit now, and you can see him gaining, but he's not gaining much. He's finding he needs that balance in this race to just keep a push on, because if you stop pushing for a minute, you lose touch with how hard you can push the car, and that's where your race can come to an end. Someone to think about, though. Well, I'm just going to do a double check, see what Richie's on. Richie's on fresh hards, which feel amazing at this track. I think he has a really good chance here of just saying, you know what, I'm going to undercut all these guys ahead of me. If the rain doesn't come soon enough, there's a real chance that we could see Richie come back into play as John's boy is all over the back of Nathan, who's fallen away from FaZe Monkey. A defensive shape thrown by Nathan into the Nouvelle chicane, and John's boy unrelenting in this pressure now. On the backs, I think I heard a little bit of tap from the wall ahead by FaZe Monkey. The rear end of that Sauber, the rear end of that Mercedes really kicking out as Hyper must have heavily cut the Nouvelle chicane. 10-second penalty coming through for him. I think FaZe Monkey at this point has damage. And I can confirm that. Front right end plate, easiest one to do around here. He's missing an end plate. John's boy comes into the pits to try and just avoid being stuck right on the back of this damaged wing.
He's on intermediates. It's starting to rain. It's raining in the pit lane.
I mean,
lap 11. Oh, he's gone very early.
Yeah, but it looks already. I'm on board. I need to go on board here as MDN Excel has retired. I think he's just retired on track here.
Yeah, that's going to be. He will be missing the final race of the season. He is, unless I think he's left immediately. Unless he may have had a problem, I'll have to get in contact with him. But yep, definitely it's raining already.
Yeah, I'm on board.
See what Quietboy does.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how his pace looks, because the issue with the rain around here is you could lose so much time, but it just doesn't look like he's losing enough time yet for it to be the Inters.
Track doesn't look wet at all. He's not going in anyway.
No, he stays out.
I was only just saying, as John's boy was almost quoting earlier on about the Constructors' Championship, whether ST is able to win this race or at least finish ahead of Quietboy and keep this title fight alive in the drivers. But in terms of the Constructors, it's 26 points between the two, and as long as the Racing Bulls get a good amount of points on, it's well up for grabs in Abu Dhabi. In Silverstone.
Yeah, is that me serving a time penalty here? The rain is definitely coming down a bit more now. And he's switching on to a set of intermediates now. See what they can do on his car. But I need to see now, as I get absolutely flashbanged, and all the viewers do, as I switch from a tunnel view to an outside view. Yeah, Quietboy's struggling now. It's time for Inters, I think. Quietboy very nearly just completely cutting the Nouvelle chicane and hitting the wall. You can just hear his
Richie,
car.
who you just said is on the fresh hards, is losing about a tenth every corner now to John's boy. So I think Quietboy is just going to kind of... No, he's staying out.
Track is wet as well now. The track is wet. You can see the droplets on the track. ST is in, and this could be the call to win the race. I think this is now when everyone is going to be considering it. Auerbank's choosing to stay out, as is Pickle Alex.
How heavy does it fall this lap?
Nathan,
why are you going to be able to make up the time?
Nathan, in the pits. FaZe Monkey pitting. Billy Wiz into the pits. Will Real Gomez come in? Is Real Gomez entering the pits? He is. So Quietboy's teammate coming in. Shano coming in. Everyone thinks it's time for Inters.
Quietboy is sliding around this track, crawling around this track at the moment, and this cannot be quicker than the intermediates. I think he's losing out on a load of time here. You can see his car is literally drifting, and I think this is the only part of the track where he's going to be able to make up a little bit of time, the dry part of the tunnel, but he's going to come out and the tyres are going to be so wet.
Yeah, and it's...
As he pretty much had to cut the chicane.
He has cut the chicane. There is no more grip on these inters, on these hards. How much time is ST gaining? It's not much to those ahead. He's
22 seconds. How long is a pit stop here?
Well, it could be longer than that, but he's going to be losing time everywhere. Quietboy sliding it through every single corner now. He's barely able to get it turned into the final corner, and into the pit he comes to make his stop. ST coming through to back now.
21 seconds. 21.9 is the gap.
But that is going to plummet. The tyres are ready. Ollie picking up a penalty here. Pickle Alex and Orabeng coming in. And I think
he's going to be okay.
I think it just wasn't quite wet enough at the start of the lap for ST. Quietboy's going to come out the pits as ST is now on the main straight. His inters, though, are going to be more warm. That is what ST has to rely on. Quietboy keeping it within that white line for the pit exit. And ST with a massive snap on the exit of turn 1.
He's kept everything together, no damage.
I know for a fact, Gaffer, both of these drivers are driving the exact same car right now. It is the exact same setup for both of these drivers. So who is going to be able to drive it better? And currently, Quietboy just gaining that little bit of time, having that little bit of confidence as DRS is finally disabled, which you would have thought could happen so much earlier.
And here, I have to say, we were slagging him earlier on, but what a call from John's boy. He's moved up from 7th all the way up to 4th now.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Shano's strategy, not the same miracle as as John's boy. Shano boxed for a fresh medium.
Don't put dries on. Ah, they're putting dries.
Oh, they're putting dries on!
That's the quote, isn't it?
Ex-Matty G knew this was going to happen. Way back in F1 2015 around China in the YouTube Championship.
Oh, I love cheating. Cheating a bit too much there. Cuts the chicane there and picks up a 3-second penalty.
I'm now
a good
really
call by ST, because he's definitely made it a lot closer and put a lot more pressure on Quietboy, because what was 6 seconds is now only 2.5.
And not only what was 6 seconds,
to stay on his toes.
You know, it's who gets that confidence in these conditions. And we saw in Canada that Pickle Alex was supreme in the wet, and Quietboy really struggled to drive in those wet conditions, in the changeable conditions. So is ST going to be strong enough, as he lost so much time through the hairpin, to be able to put Quietboy under more pressure and cause Quietboy to make a mistake? We saw everything Quietboy was struggling with as he went through there, and Quietboy right on the limit into the chicane. I'm going to be watching these two through the chicane every lap at this point.
You weren't there that day, but I suppose this is also the same thing along with in Brazil, where the race started dry and then got wet later into it. No, that was the opposite, sorry. I think it was wet and then I think it got dry. And ST ended up winning that race ahead of Quietboy. He got the jump on him, and that really kind of set the championship alight. So can he recreate almost the reverse of what happened in Brazil to get himself back into this race? It's looking unlikely. He's lost a bit of time there that lap. Unless he does what he done in Australia and put it all together towards the end of the lap, I think he may just have to hope for a constructors battle here.
Yeah, I think, as we see, Orabeng is all over the back of FaZe Monkey at the moment. FaZe Monkey with a little bit of wing damage. I remember on that day, though, in Brazil, I at least knew they were both running separate setups, and one of them much more suited to the wet. Orabeng is pushing FaZe Monkey up the hill, and they're wheel-to-wheel, minor contact between the two of them up the hill, and they are battling here as FaZe Monkey wants to keep that position. But unfortunately, Orabeng just not able to find a way through despite FaZe Monkey's wing damage. But go on, FaZe Monkey, give me a better chance at picking someone next season. Maybe you can be the next McLaren driver.
Yep. He's trying to defend here from Orabang, who's definitely a far quicker driver, and I don't think he hasn't even put up a fight, which is surprising in Monaco. He's just let Orabang through. I think Orabang has far more penalties. No, he only has 3. They only have 3. I think it's Ollie G is the only one with a fair amount of penalties here at the moment.
And Ollie G,
I think Richie.
lap down now.
Yeah.
Richie, Nathan,
Well,
Pickle, ST,
he said to me,
Quietboy, no penalties.
very, very consistent. Ollie did say to me this is his first ever league race, and he's quite disappointed that this is Monaco. So I kind of just told him to enjoy it. Just you will probably struggle. Like everyone has their first league race, but just get out there and try your best. And in fairness, like he hasn't been like some others where he's been dirty by any means. He's kept out. Like even there, he's ghosted and he's keeping out of the way for Fair's Monkey. Like he's good ethic. He just needs
Bit of pace.
just needs to work on his pace. That's it.
And it's really unfortunate. Hopefully this doesn't hit his confidence, but Monaco is that sort of track that I remember until last year's game. I was probably one of the worst Monaco drivers, and then it takes so much dedication and practice to start hooking up laps at Monaco, and to be doing it in the wet as well.
He has to think he has 13 other drivers on this track, and at least 10 of them have been racing since at least Saudi Arabia, and have got so much just general racing, league racing hours under their skin, so they'll always have a little bit more practice as he picks up another. That's another thing I think he may have to get used to. The strict track limits. The strict track limits was something that I definitely struggled with when I started league racing. I think I got my first podium at about 9 seconds of penalties around Austria, so I was lucky enough to be in a tier that had a lot of people doing the exact same. But
yeah, I remember it was
another
the
thing
same
you
on
eventually get used to.
My first day, Kota, in the tier 1 of this league, 9 seconds of penalties, and just couldn't quite pull away enough from Brandon.
That was your first league race, was it?
First ever league race, Gaffer.
Jesus, I am all, and I was never that quick. I've never been that quick. Have you done any other racing before that?
Only
As you
career
can tell, this is
really.
Monaco. We've completely gone off topic here.
Only ever really done career mode and Grand Prix mode. Maybe a little bit of ranked multiplayer, but this league,
I suppose you get better.
league racing, and probably half the reason any of these guys are keeping it on the track right now is setups that have been provided through the back alley.
Yeah, like I've been racing since league racing since F1 2020, and I'm still no quicker than probably trying to think in and around where Hyper is. I'd say is probably my pace. So we'll see what I can offer next year in what I was hoping to get another FA2 going.
Sorry, Gaffer, but Orabeng and Nathan, while you wheel to wheel, through to back, through the swimming pool, they're still side by side, and there's contact in both of them, and Nathan's out. In the wall, Nathan. Orabeng, no front wing. Is this going to be a safety car? Is the question. It looks like the safety car is staying in. Really unfortunate. There's a few penalties being picked up there, 3-second penalties.
I think that's a glitch, because I think a safety car had to come out there. There's no way it shouldn't have. I think Nathan was pretty much on the track. It's heartbreaking for Nathan. He's put a lot of work into that race, and
yeah, he's been.
I don't know. I think it was optimistic from Orabang.
Yeah, he's been so clean since that Canada race where he got in trouble for a lot of stuff. He's had a few stupid incidents in the past as Hyper retiring to the pit lane and leaving. As is that Mees had to come in for another stop. And I think Shano kind of wishing that he could have been a bit further up on the track and maybe got Is That Me there. But out in front, Quietboy still showing he's the class of the field in ST. That's his chances all but gone now. 3-second time penalty picked up for the German driver, picking it up in the Nouvelle Chicane. As far as I'm aware, unless I've just lost complete track of where they are on the circuit.
No, it would have been, yeah.
And this has opened up, though, an opportunity for Pickle Alex to come through and maybe take a P2 here. It would be really great for Salba, who have had, honestly, a very rough time the past couple of races. Their form hasn't been incredible, but Pickle Alex, the last time I saw him doing well, was that wet Canada race once again. So, wet conditions, Alex's specialty, as far as we can see, and maybe a chance for him to gain some time. Is that me out? And I think that's at the Nouvelle Chicane. Has he pulled a Nouvelle Chicane? He really has. He's in the middle of the circuit. Where are the safety car? Oshano's getting a point on the board for McLaren now. No safety car. The car picked up faster than I think the Monaco Marshals ever have done before. Just before Quietboy comes through that section. And honestly,
maybe there's only a limit to one safety car and a 35% or something. I'm not too sure where the safety cars have gone.
There is one thing I'm thinking though. Only one more retirement, and in his first ever league race, in a league race he was coming through with barely any confidence, just coming in to have a bit of fun and learn what it's like. Ollie G could pull out a podium in this race. He could not.
A podium or points?
I mean points, but you know, I'm pretty sure a podium could be possible considering the conditions on the track right now. It's probably wetter on the track than it is in the marina right now.
Yeah.
And
I don't think it's going to get any worse than this though. So maybe I should have put a full wet, and we might have seen a bit more interesting. But
yeah, Billy was completely cutting the eggs.
I don't think we should rig the championship any much more than it has been already, with some of the questionable rain calls I've given throughout the year. No matter what I've thrown Quietboy's way, I think he's been able to overcome it.
I know there's a friend out there that would more than happily take Quietboy out of this race to bring that championship back into ST's favour.
There's another Ferrari coming out.
Oh, I was more talking about the McLaren. It's just a few seconds up the road from being lapped.
Oh, I was thinking of you know who, the man who shall not be named.
Thou who shall not be named, but who also absolutely demolished FaZe Monkey's race in Belgium. And honestly, we haven't really said anything, but FaZe Monkey has had a quietly good race. Bit of wing damage, but he's in P5 right now. Real Gomez as well. After what we did eventually find out was just some desync in the last race. 10th right now. 6th right now with 10 places gained.
He's fixed his Wi-Fi. He looks fairly smooth so far. So
I think more importantly,
I think he just needs to keep his pace up and hope that Richie doesn't catch up to him.
I think more importantly though, 10 places gained at Monaco is not an easy feat when only 7 drivers have retired. But the strategy calls have been right there. Ollie started last up 7. Could be up 8, but come the end of this, as we had our little discussion of biasing this commentary, we could see ST hit a wall here and end up out of this race to give Ollie his points. I would not be against seeing the rookie come through after what hasn't been the best weekend and scoring some points. But I think everything's kind of settled down, apart from Pickle Alex, who has just slowly but surely been making up heaps of time on ST and Quietboy. He's about to come into that 3-second window of ST.
Well, once he gets into 3 seconds, that is podium for Pickle Alex, and I think ST, obviously with the championship pretty much out of his hands now, unless Quietboy does a Senna and crashes out here in the last few laps, ST will still want to keep P2, because I'm doing calculations here for the constructors, and it's looking like a 27 behind is where Racing Bulls are from Williams. So that is a
points deficit they'll need to overhaul.
Yeah, that's a large point deficit. That's going to need they're going to need to pretty much bring home nearly maximum points in Abu Dhabi, and hope that Quietboy and Jidder Archie doesn't, or Abu Dhabi, why do I keep saying Abu Dhabi? I keep thinking that's the finale in Silverstone, and hope that Quietboy and Jidder Archie are able to kind of have a poor race, kind of keep their eye off the ball.
Yeah,
but
one
Pickle
thing
Alex
I do see though,
is well in the 3 seconds now.
but there's even more to notice here. Quietboy started to struggle. Just quietly lost a decent chunk of time on this lap, and ST gaining corner by corner. But, I mean, you do remember that classic Monza moment from YouTube Championship, Capo. There's a Williams in the middle of the track. And Shano.
And he's upside down.
And Shano has not, in fact, turned the Williams upside down. As we saw a Ben
I don't
Daly
think it's...
do to...
Oh, it is Shano, yeah.
As we saw a certain Ben Daly do to a certain Nico Rosberg to give.
Well, I'm lucky I didn't take his advice, because his advice at the start of the race was turn ghosting off, which I think could have seen the McLaren collide with the Willies.
Yeah, Williams, good result here for them, considering they've got a substitute driver who didn't look like the potential was good. V-Carb with probably, I'd say, the strongest lineup on the grid at the moment. Mercedes are good, I think V-Carb are just that little bit better. John's Boy and ST.
Well, I think Williams are. Williams, when they're at full strength, of course, Archie hasn't been around for the last two, but you think of it, they finished 2-3 in Brazil, 1-6 in Canada, 3-5 Mexico, like 4-6, like they're constantly picking up good points.
Yeah, but
if both of them have finished in the points every race apart from Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, the only time a team didn't get in the points, which means actually that I think V-Carb has been slightly more consistent, scoring in every race, or at least ST has, and he's not going to let that finish here. As we come on to the penultimate lap here, the gaps...
Williams have finished in every race, I'm pretty sure, as well.
In the points, though, Gaffer. I know
in
ST
the
is the only point scorer for every race.
Ah, yeah, well, in that sense, but Williams did score in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
Archie did finish P7, so they all have finished in the points every race. They're the only team to have done that, because McLaren or Mercedes were up there in Canada. I think when we were looking in Canada, when Nathan brought home that P3, that podium, it was looking like...
Stranger brought that home. I think we remember what
happened. Oh, Stranger, sorry. I think I remember what happened to Nathan, yeah.
That race.
Sorry, they're both very similar. But we thought that a potential championship fight would be on, but 3 wins from Racing Bulls and Williams between them in the last 3 races, and it's going to be 4 today. Has just made things very, very... very more difficult for Mercedes, and of course both retiring in Brazil, and no points scored last race, and of course it's looking like there's going to be no points scored this race. But I think for the final time in this long Monaco weekend, we're going to watch Quietboy set his championship winning lap here.
Yeah.
If you want to take us through it, do you have anything prepared for our championship winner here?
I didn't think that Monaco would be the place. He's lost so much time over the past few laps, but I think this is more just about keeping his car within the track. There is no possible way without a crash for him now that this crash for him or Pick Alex, that this championship could go any other way for Quietboy. He has been one of the most consistent drivers throughout this long season of Formula Aero, picking up wins, picking up podiums. Only 1 non-point score in the entire season for him, and in every race he has won, he has looked absolutely dominant. And on an afternoon where we've had the trickiest race you could have had, a dry to wet Monaco, even just Monaco on its own, with a long qualifying session where a mistake could be made at any point, Quietboy has been flawless throughout. He has been the pace setter for a lot of this season, and he has had that focus to be able to do it constantly. And as he's going to slide his Williams through Raskas and Anthony Oates for the final time this race, there may not be much of a gap on track for them, but Quietboy, against all the odds, is going to win the Drivers' Championship here in Monaco. The first champion in Formula Aero. And it is Quietboy, after what has been an incredible season for himself in that Williams machine. Nothing has been able to stop him as the boat horns sound in the marina. He has had all the time in the world to enjoy it with a massive gap. He knew this was coming as soon as that penalty came for ST, and by God has he deserved it. Every
and of
second.
course it's a grand slam for the Williams as well. The Williams driver winning from pole position, leading every lap with setting the fastest lap.
And
I don't think he could have done much more.
The only thing he could have done any more was take a P1 in Q2.
That was it. Yeah, I was just about to say that.
The only way his weekend could have been any better, and maybe had he gotten a little bit more time on ST. But he is going to be jumping for joy in his chair because he has become a history setter in Formula Aero. It is a P1 here in Monaco. And after penalties, Quietboy with the championship, and I don't think ST is going to be the happiest guy ever on this grid, because it is officially over for them. Congratulations, Quietboy. You are the Drivers' Championship. You have the Drivers' Championship now in this season. A season that has had many controversies, many great races, and many times where we've just seen a bit of dominance, but he's took it that little bit further. And with one round to go, he is now our Constructors' Champion, our Drivers' Champion. And he's going to be hoping to make it the double with Williams next weekend and bring that Constructors' title to truly mark the history books as one of the greatest performances we'll probably see in this championship. Congratulations, Quietboy. You've won the Constructors, and I think that result also, the Drivers, and that result has also wrapped up P2 as well. ST cannot be passed for P2, so it's all going to heat up now in the lower places in the championship, just for bragging rights. It has been a Monaco race we couldn't have asked for.
There couldn't have been a better place to do it, and what a way to do it as well. Like, not only to win it in Monaco, but just in general, just to win it the way he did. And I think it could be the right time to continue the stream. I don't know if you want to go to the showroom, and we'll see if we can get Quietboy in for an interview.
That is definitely the thing we should try and do. We need to see if we can get him in here and see if we can get the words of a champion. What we needed. The Williams coming out to win for the first time in Formula Aero history. The only time we've had a Drivers' Champion in Formula Aero. And I'm sure his phone is about to be blowing up all night long with plenty of messages congratulating him. He has deserved every second of this, though. The results, it's a second, first, 11th, third, 6th, first, second, and then a first to wrap up his title. His podium spree, unrelenting. 9 in 11 have been podiums, 10 in 11 have been points scored, and now he's only got one more to wrap up what has been an incredible season for the driver. As we're going to wait and see if we can bring Quietboy up.
Yeah, he's just going to get a few minutes. So I think I might quickly take a few minutes as well.
We will come back with the stream.
Just to try and draft a few. I'm going to go get a drink of water myself. Just try and get it all together. So if you want to just put them on standby there and have the Williams car, you can just click in the showroom, are you?
In the showroom, we're going to be staring at
this
you can
Williams
just click
car. You can click the button and give the little cinematic of Williams car. I think it's the best way to do it.
Yeah, and we will be back very shortly to have A season-ending interview for Quietboy, your new drivers' champion.
Right, so we're back here and we are with our champion, who is ready to go for just a few questions. Hold on, my stream is still playing. So, Quiet Boy, first of all, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Very well done. Just going to talk. Well, I'll start just with the race before we just get on to the season altogether. But of course, qualifying probably couldn't have gone much better. We were only just saying it. All you were missing was the fastest lap in Q2. Really put a psychological statement there with the fastest lap in Q1. Got comfortably through in Q2, and then pole position in Q3. So to talk us through qualifying first of all.
Well, in Q1, I always knew I was going to get through, so I thought I would just set a few laps just to see where the pace is at. Then, coming into Q2, I only really had, one set of tyres, new tyres to use for Q2, so that's when when I came second, but I knew I couldn't improve then. And then the third, I thought, why not? I'll just give the mediums a go, see how it goes, and yeah, set the fast lap, and then I couldn't improve in the soft, so I was just amazed by it, but it couldn't have gone much better than that. But when ST set the same time as me, I thought, oh, I lost it. But then no, I realized set the exact same time. So my heart went down a bit.
Yeah. Now, obviously, after that, we would have thought with the exact same time that it was going to be some race. But of course, like all champions, you got a little bit of luck. I think you were lucky enough that Richie, who was starting alongside ST, started on the softs, got a great getaway, and got ahead of ST in the opening corners, which allowed you to kind of break away. Talk us through the race and how it was to kind of manage it out from then on in.
Well, obviously, when I started, I got a good getaway in the mediums. And then once I saw Richie pass, I thought, okay, well, at least ST's not right behind me, so the pressure's not fully on me. And then I knew that Richie's stall would start dying off as time went on. But then when the safety car came out, I thought that was perfect to get me on the hard because I wasn't too keen on the mediums. So once I was on hard, that was good. And then once I got away, I knew that the mediums would wear off for Richie. So then I thought, surely FT will get past after a couple laps, and he did. But by that point, the gap was like 5 seconds, and I knew at that point, I was like, right, I can control this now, especially if I knew the rain was coming.
Yeah.
But see, when it came near the rain, I had, 2 warnings on one lap because obviously SC played the lap before me, so I was like, oh god, if I not come in, and then I realised when the rain was coming down, I just was getting everywhere off the track. At one point, I just had to cut the corner because I just couldn't brake in time. But I was lucky I put across, so I can only get a warning. But still, yeah, it was hard. But once I put it for the enter, I was a bit worried. So it's like I hadn't tested wet conditions in Monaco with my setup, so I was like, I don't know how else it'll go, but it ended up being all right. But the amount of understeer after that was horrendous, especially when I had 2 warnings. I had to really keep it careful. And then when ST got a penalty, I thought, right, I can now start to be a bit more comfortable. But by the end, my tires were absolutely dying. But it wasn't an easy race, I can't say that for sure.
Yeah. Well, we definitely seen that there at the end, or not at the end, but just at the start of the rain falling down. How it was the Nouvelle chicane was definitely one of them. We didn't see the first warning, but we thought it was an interesting decision. We obviously must not have had any help in terms of strategy because ST was lucky enough that his teammate pitted actually the lap before that. And
yes, I noticed that. He jumped up
the he lost time in and around a second in the first sector, but then started gaining about a second every corner from then on in. And I think that was the shout back there. If they were in any means communicating, was to shout back up to ST that, well, now is the crossover period. And he managed to gain enough time, but of course it wasn't enough. And what we have to say is I think you've thoroughly deserved it. You raced almost perfectly today and definitely deserved the championship as well. So very well done.
Thank you very much.
Right, Leo, down to you.
Alright, Quiet Boy. Just going back to qualifying, were you just out of tyres when you got to Q3? Did you only have that one soft and the medium left, or...?
Yes, I only had the one soft, the medium left, but I wanted to use the medium just to see how fast I could go, and then in the soft, I just could not improve in the soft, and then I think Orban crashed or something, and then his car wasn't ghosted, and I thought I was going to crash out. Then I slowed down, you see, so that was why I couldn't improve on the second lap. So But yeah, the mediums were the only go for me really, so I was lucky to be honest.
Just a bit of luck for you then in that race. And towards the
Yeah,
end, once you saw SD had his penalty, were you just more like backing off a bit, trying to take it a lot more safe through the rest
yes,
of that race?
definitely. Especially when I knew I had that penalty, I wanted to make sure I kept it at 2-1s and make sure that it wouldn't give me any hope if I got a penalty. So, and then I knew Pickle Alex was also closing in an ST near the end, so I thought I'm a bit more safe now. So, and I was surprised though that I pulled away a bit in the inters, to be honest, with the rears getting lighting up a lot. So,
And were you surprised that there wasn't as much competition in the rain? Obviously, you had Brazil where you really struggled in those wet conditions. Were you surprised that
um,
you didn't have more of a struggle and there wasn't more of a fight put up by the others?
yes, I was actually quite surprised. But I suppose in the dries, that's why when I went in hard, that I knew I was maybe going to pull a bit of a gap to the rest. So I think that definitely made it better for me. But I was very surprised though no one challenged me near the end. Obviously, ST we can pick out for getting closely, but by that point it was already over. So yeah, very surprised.
Yeah, and with your dry stints and once you got 2 warnings, how nervous were you that this could come to an end? How much in practice were you getting more warnings than
Oh
that? And
well, I was absolutely nervous at that point. I thought, oh, things just not go my way now. 2 warnings in the space of one lap, get all crumbling down, and then I knew ST doesn't really get penalties often either. So that's when I was like, oh dear, what? In practice, I had got a few warnings, but not penalties. So I knew to myself, right, I can do it. Just keep it clean. Don't get a warning. Simple as that. And I did it in the end, but definitely wasn't easy. I mean, I had to focus these laps perfectly.
I'm just taking a look back now over the entire season, Quietboy, you've had obviously probably the best season you could have asked for, barring that one non-points finish. What was your favourite race that you've had this season?
My favourite race, out of all of them, I'd have to say Mexico. Even though I didn't win the race, there was between first and sixth, I think it was. The amount of action, I love that. I just love when everyone's so close together and racing. So yeah, that one was definitely my favorite. I love that one.
And is there going to be any conversations with ST after this? Coming ahead of
Oh,
the championship rival finally, are you on good terms, or is there going to be
oh
a little
no,
bit
we're
of
on
beef
good
there?
terms. Nah, we're on good terms. I mean, me and him have always had respect for each other, even if our incidents happened in Australia and Abu Dhabi or whatever. But no, we're on good terms. Yeah, we'll definitely respect each other. That's for sure.
Bragging rights between friends, exactly what you needed.
Right. I just have two more questions anyway before just again going back to the whole season and reading them out. Of course, 2 podiums in the first race, and then took you a while to get going before your next race win. I want to know, was that the race where you thought the championship fight is really on, and where
Yeah,
you really thought this is a possibility?
yes, definitely when I hit Canada, because when I saw the pace difference in qualifying, I thought to myself, I wonder if I practice a lot, it could work. And in the end, I knew that if I started doing that more often, then it could be up for the title fight. But I didn't think it would go the way it did. Definitely not with some of the races, especially Belgium, where I was out of help by miles. So I was very surprised. I'm still surprised.
Yeah, well, there was one thing I will say is since Abu Dhabi, where you finished sixth, the only person to have beaten you on track is ST, and obviously only one of the times he actually beat you on, because technically you did still beat him in Australia, despite the crash at the end, which may have been controversial had the season have ended a little bit closer, but it kind of all played out the way it did anyway. Whether he overtook you there or not, I think you were going to finish in second either way. So
Yeah.
he's the only person to beat you since then, and of course, you've beaten him now in the Drivers' Championship. Switch over now to the Constructors. You have a job still to finish in Britain. As far as I'm aware, you have a 30-point lead with your teammate Jitter Archie to come back into it. How confident do you feel that you'll be able to bring home the double?
Oh, very confident in my eyes, definitely. Especially if my teammates come back. Yeah, I've full confidence, 100%.
Of course, your teammate today done a very good as well.
Oh yes, he definitely
He
did. Sorry
struggled in
about
Australia, but he came in. He really gave you a hand there.
that. Yes, I do appreciate that for him.
Right. Do you have anything else to say, Leo?
Just before we do wrap this up, one question from someone not being way too obvious in the chat. What is it like to beat Pickle Alex, Quietboy?
I mean, I have to say, you're very amazing, very amazing.
Yeah. Wasn't very hard. Still waiting on that first race win. Maybe I can come to Britain for Pickle Alex, but maybe you can teach him a few things.
I will.
And just the last thing now. Do you think, just the last two things, do you think you can go all the way with Jidder Archie being there in Silverstone and win this Constructors as well?
Yes, I do think so. I'm hoping that Jitter will be very much ready for this one. I'm sure he will be for that. I hope he's just up there with me. He can help me out a bit.
Yeah, and just final thing. Next season, obviously, competition in this tier is going to be a hell of a lot more fierce for everyone. Do you think you can fight again for race wins and potentially be in that title hunt come the end of the season?
Maybe race wins, but definitely not the title. I think one title's enough for me. Then maybe for race wins, but definitely not for the title again. I think I'll take this one and be very happy with it because I know next season's going to have a lot of competition and probably more consistent drivers too. So.
Yeah, I mean...
Well, I think that's enough, is it? Or...
I think that's all we've got, obviously. Just on your comment on consistency, one of the most consistent drivers, so a very good chance for you, Quietboy.
Thank you very much.
But once again, from us, it's congratulations on your driver's title. The first one in Formula Aero. And we hope that next year you can be in the same position, hopefully, come the final race. And
yes, hopefully.
have a bit of a scrap against some even bigger boys to win the championship.
Oh, definitely. Love to.
Alright, well, thank you for coming, Quietboy. I know it was short notice for the interview since...
No, you're no worries.
Well,
Enjoyed that.
I didn't expect you to win it today, but...
How did you not?
I didn't realise it until it was to win the race. I thought it was a lot closer than 19 points, which meant that a race win and ST to finish second, you even if you didn't show up in Silverstone, if you won the race, 1 point. So you've literally done all you needed to do today, which I suppose that is probably a good thing going into the final race. It was always going to be tricky, even if ST did keep it, where he had to finish and then actually hope that you finished somewhere else. It's good just to go into a race and get a clear goal that you have to finish here, and if you do that, you've done your job, and that's exactly what you've done today, and I think that's why you deserve to be the champion. So
yes,
very well done.
Definitely. And now I can just focus on the constructors, not worry about both. That's the main thing I was thinking about. Just thinking if I go into Silverstone only worrying about one thing, then that's better than worrying about two. So yeah, I'm very happy with it, definitely.
Yeah, well done. Right. Give us an outro, Leo.
Alright, well, that has been at least the Drivers' Championship for Formula Aero Season 1. Next Wednesday, we're going to be in Silverstone for the British Grand Prix, the finale, and the place where Quietboy and his teammate could seal the Constructors, all where in extremely drastic circumstances, V-Carb could rob them right at the very end. Thank you all for coming, and we will see you next